So I first met my mother-in-law when she was the unintended guest on a telephone conversation that I was having with my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife. You see, in the 1980s, we had landlines really as our primary form of communication. That was in addition to the human interaction that we did every day. And if you had a landline in your house at the time, you would recall that in order to find out if it was in use, you would pick up the landline gently and you would listen into it. And in normal houses, if you heard voices, you would hang up gently. If you were a member of my house, you would pick up abruptly and you would say, "Hurry up, jackass, I need the phone." Well, on that particular night, I was talking to Faith, and we heard one click of someone picking up. We didn't hear a second click, and we waited for a moment. And I said to her, "Is somebody on the phone?" And she said, "Well, that's my mother." And she said, "Mom, could I please have some privacy?" To which her mother responded, for the first time I heard her voice, in a rather tired yet British-sounding voice, "Faith, if you want privacy, get your own effing phone with your own effing line." Needless to say, she did not use the PG version. And so if you fast forward to where we were this past winter with my mother-in-law, my son Alex here and I were with her down in Florida, and she was telling us that she had just done her DNA testing and that she had miraculously discovered that both her and my father-in-law were of British royalty. Well, I bit my tongue until it bled, and I realized where that faint English accent might have come from, but I wondered what in that genetic makeup could possibly have taught her to swear like a sailor. Well, anyway, I lived about 3 miles from Faith in a very small and overcrowded house, and a member of that house was my mother, and she was the queen of the busy signal. And I believe that Bell Labs engineers somewhere designed the busy signal to be the most obnoxious sound known up until the 1970s. And it was a message to youth of America. They were basically telling teenagers, "Screw you, kid, you're not getting a ride home, you're never getting the homework assignment you need, and you may never go to prom." And my mother, like mothers across America, were guilty of keeping phones busy for about 10 of 24 hours a day. But I can't just limit this to the women in my life, because my father deserves mention. He is by no means a technical genius. In fact, he would take pride here tonight telling you that in the 1980s and up until today, he has never utilized an ATM for banking. Perhaps he was ahead of the cybersecurity scare or the identity theft scare, but I think not, because he used the phone about 5 times per year. And when he used the telephone, he would often need the assistance of my mother, who was the resident expert. And those same Bell Lab engineers that had designed the busy signal by this time had designed something called call waiting. And the way they designed call waiting, it was to see if you could get into the call to get your message across. But fear not, if you were calling into the Glanville house, you had no chance, because my mother could ignore a call waiting signal like nobody's business, and my father would screw it up so badly that you would hang up. In fact, he would get frustrated and angry, and you would hear him yell out, "Oh, God damn it, babe, they're trying to break in again." Now, there's 2 things about that that are bothersome. The sickening thought that he referred to my mother publicly as babe, and the other thought that he believed that people were trying to break in, which led me and my brothers to wonder why anyone would want to break in and take the shit that we didn't even want. So you might wonder why I tell this story, because I believe that technology has proven to be a wonderful advancement in all of our lives, making them simpler and easier. But I believe that human interaction has also defined who we are, and it has helped us to tell stories to our children and our friends about those that we have interacted with, and about those members of our family that are crazy, like the people I referenced to you here today. So in closing, I have a request of all of you, and I'm reminded of the 1980s campaign slogan of New England Telephone, which said, "Reach out and touch someone." Of course, figuratively and not literally, because today that can get you in quite a bit of trouble. You will be amazed the impact that it can have on you and the person you are calling. I thank you very much for your time.